JROCK Houston, and you guys are listening to Chaotic Riffs Magazine. We can be found on the web at www.chaoticriffs.com. It's my great pleasure to be speaking with singer Chris Violence. And how are you doing tonight, Chris?
Good. How you doing, Jason?
I'm doing great now. The reason we're talking, I understand you got a new album out called The Raven, and it's somewhat of a conceptual album. Could you talk a little bit about the new album? Tell us what the concept is.
Yeah, it's actually a 24-minute track. We're calling it the thrash metal opera. It's a single track, 24 minutes long, based on Edgar Allan Poe's poem, The Raven.
Oh wow, I love that. I love the fact that it's just one track. Talk to you a little bit about how obviously it's based on, you said Edgar Allan Poe's poem, but how did the idea just for this 24-minute track come about?
It's such a weird story because the guy that I've been working with, John DeBose, plays bass and guitar. I've been working with him since '91 in various projects, and he was on my American Ripper album that came out in 2014. And after that, he just went straight to work, and we were talking about what was going to be next. And we decided on this big piece of music that he recorded, the 24 minutes. I was going to cut it into 5 pieces.
Wow.
And make it an EP. And it was going to be all kind of a concept of all pieces would be sewn together. And I just could not find a subject that was strong enough to stretch across the 24 minutes. And time went by, we recorded some other music and released it. And I came back to this again and again, trying to figure it out. And a few years prior, I had heard Christopher Walken reading The Raven on a YouTube video.
Wow.
It blew my mind, and at the time I said, man, that would just make a killer metal song.
Mm-hmm.
And then one night, again, while listening to this big track, it popped into my head. Maybe I should go read the lyrics or the poem and see if it would fit anywhere near this music. And when I started reading it, I realized not only did it fit flawlessly. It took me another 9 months to record the words, and what is recorded is completely unedited. The music's unedited, and of course the poem's unedited, and it fit together flawlessly, start to finish, which is absolutely mind-bending.
So now let me ask you, The Raven, this track that you did, is it not only based on the poem, but is it actually you reading word for word the actual poem, or is this a song that you created based on the poem?
No, it is the poem, word for word, 1,860 words.
Mm-hmm.
It's completely uncut. I mean, I spoke the words exactly as they were written.
Wow. And now, talk a little bit about the music, because, okay, well, this track is based on, a famous poem by Edgar Allan Poe. I'm assuming that the music is original stuff that you and your partner came up with.
Yes, that's correct.
Oh, that's a pretty cool idea. Now, and I would imagine, being that this is an Edgar Allan Poe, poem. Did you have to still a lot of songwriters have to do, a lot of people that record other people's stuff. Did you have to pay a licensing fee, or was there any copyright that you had to go through?
I'm giving the song away, so I'm not making any money off of it.
Oh.
So, no,
Oh, that's a cool idea. Now, do you know specifically if you set up exactly what you're going to be donating the money to yet?
Like I said, I'm just giving it away, so there's no money to be donated.
Oh, that's cool. Now this is a quite an interesting project. But let me ask you, have you given any thought to doing any live performances? Because it'd be interesting. I would think. Again, it's a 24-minute track, but it'd be a bit of a different type of live performances. I know there are actual people that actually do poem readings and stuff. But have you given any thought to doing something like that?
I think it would be amazing to try and do it live, but I would honestly, I think I need a teleprompter. It is so monstrous, and there's no chorus. There's no, where it comes back around and you repeat the same lyrics. But I have thought about it, but I highly doubt it would ever happen.
I think it would be a cool idea just to try maybe once or twice just to see what the response was, for the simple fact that to me, this is kind of an interesting concept. It's more than just a guy getting up on, stage reading a poem. I mean, it's set to music, and if you could kind of, perform it live, with the music, I think, would give it that, kind of an extra theatrical element. You perform the music while you're reading the poem.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think it would be bitchin' to do live, but the people that are involved in this project are all over the world.
Oh,
so I'd have to, assemble a band. Now, the lead guitar, some of the lead guitar work is Matthias Menente and also Maxwell Carlisle.
Oh wow, I know Maxwell. He's quite a great he's really a great guitar player. He's one of the most I would say I'd call him a modern day guitar hero, but he's one of these guys very underrated right now. He does great he releases great solo music, and he's also in the band Hellion, but he's really an underrated guy too. So I'm glad to see that you got somebody like him involved.
I asked him. I used to have my own radio show. I was doing an interview with him, and just for the hell of it, I threw out the idea if he would be interested in doing something. And the guy was so gracious and so incredibly helpful. To spend the time and knowing that there's no money made off of this project. It's just an amazing guy, and I appreciate him so much. Everybody that was involved in this project was just incredible.
Oh, that's cool, man. Now let me ask you, as far as Maxwell and the other guys that contributed to the track, were you guys all in the same room at the same time, or in Maxwell's case, did you kind of tell him what you had in mind, and he kind of created his guitar part and sent it in, or what was the recording process like?
Well, John DeBose recorded the bass guitars and arranged the drums a year and a half before I even started laying vocals down in North Carolina. I've never met Maxwell. Like I said, we were doing an interview, and when I gave him the music, he was actually just going on tour, and to my understanding, he recorded this on the back of the bus.
Wow.
On the road with Hellion, which is incredible.
That's amazing. When you think about it, when people might initially hear about what you're doing here, they might think, oh, it's just a guy reading some famous dead poet's poem. But the fact that you've got all these other guys involved, you're putting original music to it. That, like I said again, that makes it. I think that more of an interesting project than if you were just recording somebody else's track. And the fact, it's got to be a great feeling. What was it like once you got, for example, Maxwell's guitar parts that he recorded sent to you, and then you hear the final track? That's got to be ultimate feeling.
Man, when I first heard it, it gave me chills because I had no idea where he was going to put the solo.
Yeah.
And the place that he put it was the most unlikely in my mind, which was this haunting atmospheric section in the middle. And what he did to it is so powerful. I would have never seen that coming, in my wildest dreams. And that's what a professional does. That level of professionality just rises to those occasions, and that guy's just amazing.
And let me ask you, Chris, now, it sounds like you had, it's quite the experience and had a lot of fun recording this track, but did it inspire you at all to say, after recording this track, I want to go in and maybe do something else like this, but, with one of my own original songs?
Well, I've always been a thrash guy, so, this is total speed metal to the maximum.
Wow.
And my next challenge really is I would love to see somebody air guitar this on YouTube. 24 minutes of air guitar. I would love to see it. Wow.
That would be so, that would be so cool. Now, let me ask you, Chris. So you said you're a speed metal guy. So when you were growing up, who were the guys that influenced you?
Oh man, the very first. First of all, I grew up in the I'll say the pre-thrash era.
Okay.
The pre-thrash era, I would consider the Van Halen, AC/DC, Triumph, Rush. Those were the bands that I really grew up on.
Now there's another great band you just mentioned, Triumph, a very legendary but much forgotten band.
Oh, totally.
I remember.
When thrash metal took hold of everything, I was just floored, man. When I first got into Anthrax and started hearing Anthrax, and I realized, my God, my favorite metal goes fast.
Wow.
I never went back, man. I just want, Megadeth. I just wanted Overkill. I wanted flat speed.
Wow, wow,
and,
wow.
That's where I've gone, you know.
Yeah, and so, because I haven't heard the track yet, so I gotta check it out, but I was curious, as far as what you normally do, are you primarily a guitar player, a singer, or do you do both?
Just a vocalist.
Okay, vocalist. And how many albums have you released to date so far? I was curious if people were wondering.
I asked Chris Violence into that, American Ripper, and then a single called Push Button Pain, and then Raven.
And so you've done a lot of recording, but do you tour much or get a chance to perform live?
I haven't been in a couple of years. I toured extensively with a band called Cessation of Life, and we put out a bunch of albums and toured a lot.
Okay.
And played a lot, but I haven't been in the last couple of years. I haven't performed actually live at all, any of this new music.
And you miss that? I mean, even with having like 3 solo albums under your belt, do you think, plus this new track coming out, do you think you're at a point where you'd like to, okay, I got like 3 albums worth of music, I'd like to get out there and perform some of it now live?
I have thought about it. I think that there's some really powerful stuff that I think would, just rip the crowd's head off. I have pondered the idea of the Raven live, along with the title track, American Ripper, or even Push Button Pain. I think that they would be great songs live. I just haven't really put much effort into thinking about it.
And as far as the Raven track, I was curious. A 24-minute track, it's kind of a different thing, and you got to worry about, okay, am I going to be able to keep the audience's attention for 24 minutes? But with that in mind, have you given any thought to, like, since it is based on a concept, creating any kind of like a music video to go along with it?
There is actually a music video that goes with it. You can get that at chrisviolence.com right on the front page. And that in itself took me 200 hours to create.
Wow, I bet.
It's mostly a lot of the original Edgar Allan Poe art, the steel etchings that came out with the poems back in the late 1800s. But it tells the whole story of the Raven, and it goes through, and it's very powerful. It's very visually attacking. And
now let me ask you, being a thrash guy, obviously you're into thrash music and stuff, but were you always kind of a Edgar Allan Poe fan, or is this something you kind of accidentally came across as far as the Raven poem?
I absolutely stumbled upon it when I saw or heard Christopher Walken read it.
Oh, that's right.
For the most part, everybody has heard part of this poem.
Yeah.
But I actually didn't even realize it was that long. I didn't realize it was, 4 freaking pages of text.
Wow.
It's just massive.
You could almost do like a book on tape with that. But the cool thing about this was if you were to even film it for like a live DVD or a one-time performance or something, I think the cool thing that you can possibly accomplish is if people check out your track, or even they download it, or however they get it, and they think, oh, this Raven thing, this is really cool, and then they go and check out the original poem, or they might go and check out other Edgar Allan Poe poetry. It's like, wow, that'd be a cool thing, and it's all because they heard your track.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree.
Yeah, and so right now we're talking about the Raven, and this is kind of what you're doing now. But tell me, Chris, what else are you working on? Anything else in the immediate future?
Actually, John and I are not done. We're working on another song. It's just in the conceptual stage right now, talking about what it's going to be. I'm writing lyrics and developing that, and there'll be some more speed metal coming. Not done yet, but no date on it. I have no idea.
Yeah, I hear you. Now, is that something you enjoy as far as being able to go in the studio? And I guess you're kind of an independent artist in that you don't really necessarily have a record label behind you, so you have the freedom to kind of go in and create these tracks at your leisure. It's really you don't have to worry about a deadline. It's when you feel it's done, and the good thing about that too, I imagine, is not having that pressure. Is you can kind of put your music out there the way you want to have it presented and everything.
It is nice, and I used to work under deadlines, and we always, we were under the pressure, the time of, when you got to get back out on the road. Summer's coming, so the music's got to be finished and recorded. So, yeah, I lived like that for a long time, and this is definitely different. Back in the day when I was recording, it was always rush in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
It's costing a lot of money. As the vocalist, I'm always last to record, so I'm the least important. There's 2 hours left to go lay the lyrics down.
Yeah.
So with that out of the way, it's a lot nicer. I can spend a lot more time. If something's not correct, I can go back. I've listened to it 100 times. If something's in my head that I don't like, I can figure it out, correct it, and really finesse it.
And now, I was curious, what's your experience with the internet been? I mean, I imagine that's a great tool as far as helping to build your fan base. As far as where can people reach you on the internet? I mentioned you had a site. Are you on Facebook or anything as well?
Yes, on Facebook and Twitter. All my social media is at chrisviolence.com. You can find all the links there. And, of course, you can download everything I've recorded under the Chris Violence name. You can download all that for free.
Oh, well, that's kind of interesting. Now let me ask you, Chris, in regards to that, because I know a lot of artists have kind of started doing that for the simple fact that, as you know, as a musician, people, a lot of fans, they feel that, it feels all right to just kind of download it anyways. Is that kind of, your attitude to it? We're going to do it anyway, so might as well let them hear it?
There's a piece of me that feels that they're going to download it anyways, and there's a piece of me that feels that I want them to have it. The idea, when I was a kid, I used to look up at Van Halen and say, man, I'm going to be that. I'm going to grow up, I'm going to get up on the big stage, I'm going to make the money, but those days are gone. I mean, I don't know, I personally don't know what the younger bands are doing right now. I know there's a lot of bands that are still out there touring, and I don't know how much money they're making or how they're financing their thing. And I hope that they are making money. I hope that they are. But for me, in my situation, I'm not touring anymore. I still enjoy making music, and I want people to have it. And I'm not gonna hold out for 99 cents.
Yeah.
I would rather some kid tearing down the highway, cranking American Ripper. That's what I would rather have.
Yeah, that's amazing. Now, and as far as an avenue for helping to build your fan base, and for fans that might be interested, that would help you also have a little bit of a financial backing. Do you have any kind of merchandise like Chris Violence T-shirts or anything that people could buy?
No, and there's a reason I don't, and the reason is because one-off T-shirts that you purchase off the internet are either really poor quality, or there's like $26 a piece.
Well, I respect that here's a guy that's really into making music for the simple love of what he does, and it's a very rare thing. Like I said, a lot of bands and musicians I talk to, they tell me straight out like you that, hey, the fans are going to download this stuff, anyways, legally, they'll get it, one way or another, so we're just going to give it away for free. But at the same time, a lot of bands are also, we're going to sell T-shirts, so, you're one of the few guys I've talked to that's like, at the same time, I would like to do that, but then I don't want to really rip off the fans, so I gotta, say I got a lot of respect for you, Chris, and, tip my hat for you having that kind of attitude.
Man, I'm a music fan, I'm a metal fan first. And it's very, very difficult to go to $100 concerts.
Yeah.
And, $50 T-shirts. I saw AC/DC this last time around. I saw Black Sabbath here this last time around. I saw Motley Crue's last show here, New Year's. These shows were $150 a ticket.
Yeah.
And then, I didn't get T-shirts. Well, I did at the Motley Crue, but I didn't. Black Sabbath, $50, $60 a T-shirt. I mean, I don't want to spend that kind of money, man. It's ridiculous. You got to kind of pick and choose, like you said. Like, oh well, maybe I'll get a Motley Crue one because it's going to be their last show ever. But other than that, there are other things I can spend $50 on. I totally agree with you. And so again, I got to really tip my hat to you on that. Now, Chris, is there anything else you'd like to say to people listening to this before we kind of wrap it up? Yeah, absolutely. I actually recorded 3 songs for the band called Exania.
Okay.
That's going to be there's more information of that on my website as well. I just recorded the vocals for them. They're out of Romania, and that album drops August 15th.
Wow. So just
that'll also be a free download. The name of the album is governmental genocide.
Wow.
So I believe so. Jeez.
So literally just, yeah, literally just, 1 week from now. So we'll be looking for that now. As I was saying, Chris, we want to, first of all, give a shout out to our mutual friend, the Lord of PR. He's a great guy to have on your team, and I'd like to thank him for helping me to set up the interview with you. And I really enjoyed talking to you, Chris. So anytime you have anything to promote, feel free to reach out to me. I'd be glad to help you promote it.
Thank you very much, Jason. I really appreciate it.
Okay, the interview itself probably be going up by the end of August. So again, I'll let the Lord of PR know the exact date when it goes up, and we'll be talking to you. Take care of yourself, Chris.
You too, Jason.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.